Good afternoon, hello, it's Daniel. This is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel, but today I have on a backpack full of fluid, and that makes me a gravel pro. So all of my discount codes are in the link down below. Right, tonight's session is my one and only training session specifically aimed at the Gralloch. The Gralloch's a gravel race in 3-4 days time in the Gatehouse of Fleet in Scotland. Looking forward to it, but I do need to get out on this bike and get some meaningful pedaling done, because man is it going to be hard. I've got my eye half on trying to qualify for the age group gravel world champs, gravel worlds, but it's going to be a big ask. So I'm going to give it my all. But tonight I'm just heading out to firstly test the bike, make sure nothing falls off it. Got some new stuff I'm testing out, and also just to get those vibes flowing. You can tell I'm a gravel pro, can't I? Vibes. Just basically ride hard on the gravel bike, just try and learn how to ride on loose gravel, up some steep climbs, up some shallow climbs, down some descents, etc. I found a loop that I used last year to run on in prep for an off-road like triathlon run, and I just thought to myself, I think it's perfect. So at 1.7 miles around, one way around is a short sharp climb and a long gradual descent, and of course in reverse it's the opposite, so a short sharp descent and a long gradual climb. So I'm basically riding out to that loop easy. When I get to the loop, I'm just going to whack it for 30 or 40 minutes ish. That's about as scientific as it gets. And then Liz is also out on a gravel bike somewhere. I'm going to meet up with her there and ride back with her. So I'm taking all the boxes tonight. What more could you want? Let's get stuck in.
Here's the Gralloch setup then. It's my Canyon Grizzle. I've had this a couple of years, absolutely love it. I have had to take off my beloved clip-on bars, not allowed at the Gralloch. Some richly flared bars, 38 at the hoods and 44 at the drops. Other than that, the group set is exactly the same as it is out of the box, so a 1044 cassette and a 40-tooth chainring. I find that's a big enough range for most events really. I've got an NRG wax chain and ceramic bearing jockey wheels for some marginal drivetrain gains there, but more than anything it just keeps the whole thing clean. The big thing that I'm testing now are the wheels. So these are unreleased by Veta, so they don't have a name yet. I'm hoping they'll call them the TriathlonDan range. They're super wide. They're about a 32 internal and a 42 external hooked, and they essentially mean that my 2.1 inch Thunderbirds, which measure 50mm on my old wheels, measure 54 on this. So interested to see how these get on and how they feel. And hydration wise, I'm opting for a backpack, and I probably put one bottle on the bike as well, just in case of emergency. And obviously being a gravel pro, I have a camera on the front of my bike, so let's get stuck into this session. Now when I turned onto the loop, I thought to myself, well, the Gralloch isn't going to start by me just easing into my target power, is it? It's going to start with me getting punched in the face in terms of riding flat out. So that's essentially what I did. Now the data on screen is 3 or 4 seconds ahead of the video for some reason. Cheers into 360, can't figure out how to change it. But I mean, there's not really much more to it. I just hit it for 30 seconds. Good for the training peak stats, and good for me to actually just start off with a big spike, get my heart rate up, get my legs, fatigued a little bit, and I think that was a really wise decision. I then tried to settle into the effort a bit more, relax on the downhills, surge on the uphills. Managed to go wrong. This whole loop's only about 1.5 miles long, but this is the first time I've been around it in months, so turn left, I shouldn't have turned left. It brought me down this downhill, which was okay, but there was some big drainage gullies, and I was having to sort of hop those on the way down, and there's lots of people walking and so on, so not ideal. And a gate at the bottom which I had to slam on for, but I figured it out in the end. Bit further around the loop now, and the going, as you can see, is very good. It's very light gravel, it's quite fast in terms of rolling resistance, and all the corners are wide open, so it's not really the end of the world. And a big patch of concrete here, so I'm trying to really recover during these points. That's not where I'm going to be pushing on hard. I need the legs on the tougher stuff. This is the steep up or downhill depending which way you're going, so practicing my descending here, I was thinking, well, do I go in the middle on the rough stuff? Is that a good prep? Or do I pick the best line? Is that a good prep? I wasn't really sure, so I picked the best line because the rough stuff was quite rough and I didn't want to stack it in training, and then just dropped onto the rougher gravel towards the bottom. But this was very easy going there. If anything, I think I should have gone on the rough stuff towards the top. A few sharp corners. Out of the corners I'm trying to just whack it, just so that I'm not just easing into the power. Again, if I'm chasing wheels or trying to follow a group or something, I'm not going to be going easy out of corners. Is going to be chasing on. And again here, a little S-bend. Obviously you have to watch out for pedestrians, but good training just to go in and out, and you pedal through it, do you not, and just try and learn how the gravel bike handles on big tyres off-road. Going the opposite way now, so going up that short sharp hill, which isn't as short when you go around it this way, and exactly the same thing. I was thinking, well, shall I ride at the rough stuff? Is that good training, or shall I ride on the good line? After about 30 seconds on the rough stuff, I decided to pick the good line. I'd actually started quite hard on that one and blew up towards the top. This guy came across on the loop, obviously didn't want the smoke. I was like, come on bro, let's go. No, didn't want it, but you know, we'll see if I find anybody else on the loop who does want it. It felt good, to be honest. That's probably the only overtake I'll make on a gravel bike this week. A bit further around the loop now, and I'm still going that same direction. Second time up this steep hill. I eased into it a lot more. I didn't hit it as hard at the bottom on this loop, with the view to, as I got closer to the top, surge on, because that's how I think these rides are ridden, like in groups. When you get towards the top of a hill, if it's strung out, of course those at the front are getting over the top of the hill first and they're building the speed up, so you've got to sort of kick on if you're middle or towards the back. In reality, that did not happen. I was getting fatigued and, well, you know, I just struggled to finish it. My intervals were 20 minutes at a normalised power of 325 watts and an average of 295. Did 5 minutes recovery when I turned around, and then the second 15 minutes was 313 watts normalised, 285 average, which I'm pretty happy with. Good workout, I definitely felt it, and on to the Gralloch.
Here we go, somebody else that wants to smoke. Come on then, I'll give it you. Are you ready? Come on then.
Ripping up the trail.
You want to have a go on this?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Go on then. I think you know what to do.
I don't think I could do it on camera.
I think you do it on camera now. No.
What'd you do there?
Too much teeth. There you go, right. Okay, just doing one lap with Liz, and she's chosen to go up the steep hill because
on my old bike I always used to have to stop and walk after part way.
Yeah.
The ground's not great either.
So new bike's going to get you up it.
I'm going to attempt it on this bike. If I can't do it, I'll blame the headwind.
If you can't do it, I reckon retire from cycling or get an e-bike.
Yeah.
Well done, Duck.
That was evil.
Good effort.
I'll take that though with the headwind.
Yeah. That headwind. We were looking forward to a barbecue tonight as a reward for a good bike ride, but Liz has just had a massive fly, so I guess you won't want any, will you?
No.
Right.
No, that's filled me up. It's choked me anyway.
Yeah, I know, I thought you were going to spit all over me.
I tried to regurgitate it, but I couldn't.
Oh.
Gone too far.
And on that note, I'm going to end today's video there. I'll leave the stats on screen. Thank you very much for watching. Please do hit like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock with us.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya.